Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Today I want to talk about something deeply meaningful to anyone who aspires to lead: the key to effective leadership. When we think of great leaders, what do we imagine? Perhaps it's someone who stands in front of a crowd, guiding a team toward success, or someone who provides solutions in times of crisis. Leadership is often mistaken for authority, position, or control. But at its core, leadership is not about being in charge. Granted, it is not yet possible to influence people or gain their trust, but at its core, it's about being responsible for those in your charge. Great leadership begins with understanding why you do what you do. It's the foundation that everything else builds upon. Leadership isn't about following trends or adopting the latest management strategies. It's about a deeper connection to purpose. Without understanding the why, leadership becomes a mere transactional process, reducing your impact to a set of tasks that need to be completed. It lacks soul, passion, and direction. When a leader can clearly articulate the why behind what they do, they are setting the stage for something far more powerful. This sense of purpose acts as the North Star, guiding decisions, shaping actions, and keeping everyone aligned as a team. The why is what ensures that leadership isn't just a role or a job. It becomes a calling. It provides the momentum needed to face challenges, overcome setbacks, and push towards something bigger than yourself. This sense of purpose doesn't need to be monumental or world-changing in nature. It can be simple, personal, or rooted in smaller-scale achievements. What matters is that it is authentic and meaningful to both the leader and the people they lead. Without this authenticity, a leader risks creating a disconnection between themselves and the team. Employees and teams are smart. They can sense when a leader is not fully invested in what they're doing. They can detect when the motivation is driven by external factors such as prestige, financial rewards, or job security, rather than a deeper commitment to a purpose. This often leads to disengagement and a lack of alignment. On the other hand, when the why resonates deeply within a leader, it becomes contagious. People want to follow leaders who are inspired, who speak from the heart, and who make decisions with clear purpose. It fosters an emotional connection between the team and the vision. The result is not just compliance, it is engagement. When employees and collaborators understand the purpose behind their work, their actions transcend duty and transform into passion. This is how great things get done. This is how you get the best out of others. This principle applies in any leadership context, whether it's corporate, nonprofit, or even within smaller communities. Think about those rare leaders who have inspired major movements or organizations. In each case, the message wasn't, "Let's complete these tasks together." It was, this mission, this purpose, is something greater than what we could achieve alone, and we will work together to see it realized. For example, when a team leader introduces a challenging project, they shouldn't just explain the what and how, they need to address the why this project matters, why it's worth the time and effort, and why it will contribute to something meaningful. When the team understands the reason for their work, they gain a deeper sense of motivation. Their effort is tied to the bigger picture, the collective purpose they are striving toward. And to contribute to the bigger picture, this is the process this is particularly evident in moments of crisis or uncertainty. In such times, when things are tough and the destination is unclear, a sense of purpose can provide the clarity and direction necessary to persevere. Leaders who lead with purpose help their teams navigate even the most turbulent waters. Purpose strengthens resilience because it allows people to view challenges as opportunities to prove that their cause is worth fighting for. When things go wrong, it's the why that inspires them to bounce back, knowing that overcoming obstacles is part of the larger mission. Another significant aspect of the why is that it helps leaders align their actions and decisions with their values. Leadership is constantly tested through choices, whether big or small. The why acts as a filter through which all decisions must pass. When you understand your purpose clearly, you can make decisions with confidence, knowing that you are staying true to your values and vision. This creates a consistency that builds trust over time. Team members become more secure in their environment, knowing that their leaders' actions are guided by a well-founded purpose, rather than a fluctuating agenda or set of tactics. Moreover, the why gives leaders the ability to inspire others to develop a sense of ownership in the mission. When everyone around you understands and shares the same purpose, it becomes easier to foster a sense of accountability. Instead of managing through supervision or micromanagement, a purposeful leader creates a culture of self-regulation, where individuals understand their roles, not just in terms of tasks, but as key players in a shared goal. This commitment to purpose spreads throughout the team, creating momentum that amplifies results. This is true not just for executives or managers, but for every level of leadership. When team members and other leaders within the organization understand why they're doing what they're doing, their enthusiasm grows. A shared understanding of purpose translates into unified action, increased collaboration, and an energy that fuels the work. A team united in purpose achieves more because they're no longer individuals with divergent interests. They are a community working toward a common goal. The most profound shift in leadership occurs when this sense of purpose reaches its highest expression. It becomes a living, breathing force that influences every conversation, decision, and action. Leaders are no longer simply guiding people. They are bringing them along on a meaningful journey, a journey driven by purpose. People then don't just follow the leader for the outcome. They follow them because they believe in what they are working towards and the values the leader represents. Leadership at its core is about serving others, not commanding them. While authority and titles may place a person in a position of power, it is the willingness to serve that truly defines a leader's effectiveness. The old model of leadership often placed a high premium on control and directive decision-making. It focused on leaders telling people what to do, with little regard for the interests or input of the team members. This kind of leadership, while sometimes successful in the short term, often fails to inspire long-lasting loyalty, engagement, or growth. Instead of moving a team forward, it stifles the initiative and suppresses the creativity of those being led. True leadership is rooted in humility and the understanding that the role of a leader is to facilitate, not to dominate. The best leaders prioritize the success of those around them rather than seeking to elevate themselves. Serving doesn't mean diminishing your role. On the contrary, it strengthens it. When a leader is more concerned with the well-being and development of others, they naturally gain respect and loyalty from those they lead. Leadership in this context is a process of empowering others to reach their full potential, knowing that when your people succeed, you succeed with them. One of the keys to servant leadership is trust. When a leader demonstrates that they are committed to serving others, people begin to feel more secure in their roles. They trust that their leader is genuinely invested in their growth and well-being, and this encourages them to go above and beyond. In a sense, leadership becomes a two-way street. It is no longer about simply following orders or instructions. It becomes a collaboration in which both the leader and the team are partners. This builds a solid foundation of respect, and when the team trusts their leader, it becomes easier to navigate challenges, take risks, and innovate, knowing that there is a guiding force that cares for the individuals involved. At the heart of servant leadership is the understanding that true power comes from empowering others. This is a stark contrast to the top-down approaches seen in many traditional models. Leaders are not simply figureheads with answers to everything, but facilitators who provide resources, guidance, and encouragement. Leaders become enablers, creating an environment that fosters development and growth. When a leader chooses to serve, they open the doors of possibility for their team members. They help identify potential within others that they may not even see in themselves. They celebrate wins together and learn from failures, ensuring the team becomes stronger and better equipped for future success. Effective leaders also create a safe space in which team members can voice their opinions and concerns, making them feel seen and valued. People want to know that their perspectives matter and that their leader respects their contributions. This fosters a sense of ownership among individuals, which ultimately leads to a more motivated and engaged workforce. When leaders listen, when they seek input, and when they take action on feedback, they build deeper, more authentic relationships with those they lead. This in turn builds a culture of collaboration that thrives on trust, respect, and collective problem solving. A true servant leader always maintains empathy and humility. They remember what it was like to be in the shoes of those they lead. Empathy means seeing things from the other person's point of view, understanding their struggles and challenges, and offering guidance and support without judgment. Humility ensures that the leader never places themselves on a pedestal, but instead remains grounded and open to learning from those around them. Leaders who serve understand that they do not have all the answers, that they too need the contributions, skills, and ideas of those around them. They need to be aware of their limitations and lean into the people around them. This approach stands in stark contrast to the belief that a leader must always appear strong, unflinching, and all-knowing. In reality, these are not the qualities that truly resonate with people. What resonates more deeply is seeing a leader who is human, who admits their mistakes, is vulnerable when necessary, and shows a willingness to grow and improve. This honest, transparent approach builds stronger connections and engenders respect in ways that an authoritarian approach simply cannot. And my final piece of advice for anyone looking to achieve the impact of service-based leadership can be seen in the long-term relationships it fosters within an organization. Rather than being temporary partnerships driven by need or obligation, these relationships are built on mutual respect and trust, and they withstand the trials that arise over time. Service leaders set an example that transforms how individuals perceive their role in the workplace, pushing them to be more collaborative, supportive, and thoughtful in how they lead. Leadership by service can also significantly impact organizational culture. It breeds a mindset of helping, sharing, and lifting others up. When leaders actively serve, they set the tone for the organization as a whole, establishing a climate where cooperation and mutual respect are prioritized over individual competition. Employees are more likely to collaborate, share knowledge, and support one another's growth when they are guided by a leader who sets that example. Furthermore, by focusing on service over authority, leaders establish a stronger bond between the vision they're pursuing and the people supporting it. The greater the alignment between a leader's actions and their people's needs, the more invested the team will be in the leader's success. In this way, the act of service becomes a tool for personal, professional, and organizational growth, creating outcomes far beyond mere tasks or accomplishments. By embracing this philosophy, leaders can cultivate long-term success built on shared commitment, trust, and service. Trust is the foundation of effective leadership. It is the invisible force that binds leaders and their teams together. Without trust, any attempt to lead will ultimately be hollow and ineffective. Leadership built on trust is not about exerting authority, but about cultivating an environment where individuals feel safe, valued, and understood. It is not just a tool that leaders use. Trust is something that must be earned, nurtured, and continuously reinforced throughout the leader's tenure. It is a relational currency, constantly exchanged between leader and team, and it underpins every successful leadership initiative. When people trust their leader, they follow them not because they have to, but because they want to. Trust creates a psychological safety net that encourages people to take risks, experiment, and think outside the box without fear of failure or ridicule. It makes employees feel secure enough to voice their ideas, knowing their input will be considered and respected. A team that trusts its leader is not only more cohesive and collaborative, but also more engaged. The connection of trust makes people feel emotionally invested in the mission of the team, transforming routine work into something meaningful. A key to establishing trust is consistency. Leaders cannot expect to earn trust if their actions are inconsistent or unpredictable. Leadership requires integrity, a consistent demonstration of alignment between what a leader says and what they do. When a leader acts in a way that contradicts their words, it erodes trust. People want to follow leaders whose behaviors align with the principles they espouse. If a leader promises transparency but later withholds important information or makes decisions behind closed doors, the team's trust will be compromised. Similarly, leaders who are unpredictable in their decision-making or show favoritism towards certain individuals will foster a climate of uncertainty that undermines trust. If a leader consistently walks the talk, their team will have confidence in their decisions and their commitment to the team's values. Trust is also fostered through vulnerability. Contrary to popular belief, a leader's vulnerability is not a sign of weakness, but an essential strength. When a leader is willing to show their human side, admit mistakes, and be open about challenges, it builds a strong connection between them and their team. Vulnerability doesn't mean showing insecurity, but rather being honest about where things stand and being willing to lean on others for support when needed. Leaders who are willing to be vulnerable create an environment where team members feel comfortable doing the same. This fosters open communication, problem solving, and collaboration. When a leader admits they don't have all the answers, but are willing to work through challenges with their team, it engenders trust by demonstrating humility and respect for others. An important aspect of trust is how leaders handle mistakes, both their own and those of their team members. Every team and leader will face setbacks, but it is how those setbacks are managed that defines trust. When a leader takes responsibility for mistakes and provides a transparent explanation of what went wrong, they not only maintain their credibility, but they also model accountability for the entire team. In a culture of trust, mistakes are not seen as failures, to be feared, but as opportunities for growth. Leaders who openly acknowledge errors without placing blame and who actively work to learn from them strengthen the trust they share with their team. Trusting leaders are more likely to consider the possibility of mistakes in the future than to blame another organization. Clear and open communication is another vital component of trust. Leaders must actively listen to their teams and communicate in an open, honest, and timely manner. Trust is eroded when communication is poor, unclear, or when people feel left out of important discussions. Leaders must ensure they are not only sharing information, but also creating space for others to express themselves and ask questions. This can be as simple as providing clear expectations for projects or acknowledging concerns raised during meetings. Leaders who are clear and communicative create an atmosphere where team members are informed, confident, and able to engage more deeply in their work. One of the most important ways leaders build trust is through the power of inclusion. In an environment of trust, individuals are valued for their unique perspectives and their contributions are recognized. A leader who includes their team members in decision-making processes, who solicits input and feedback, and who takes time to understand the views of others will strengthen the team's cohesion. Inclusivity breeds trust because it shows respect for the individuals that make up the team, and when people feel included, they are more likely to be committed and engaged in achieving common goals. Ultimately, trust is a reciprocal relationship. A leader who trusts their team members to do their jobs and make decisions empowers them, which in turn enhances their own credibility as a leader. The more responsibility and autonomy a leader gives to their team, the more trust they build. Trust is a virtuous cycle. The more trust you show in others, the more they will trust you. This dynamic is what drives the culture of high-performance teams. When leaders empower their teams and demonstrate that they believe in their abilities, they create a sense of mutual respect and shared commitment to success. At its most profound, trust is an unspoken agreement that creates a cohesive, resilient team, where challenges are faced together, where differences are celebrated rather than feared, and where every member is motivated to perform at their highest level. It allows leaders to take bold steps and face difficult decisions, knowing that the team has their back and is committed to shared goals. Trust transcends time and circumstances. When it's deeply embedded in a leader's relationships with their team, it becomes the unbreakable bond that withstands the inevitable changes and challenges faced by any group of people. Leadership is not just about issuing commands or maintaining control. It is about humility. This concept is often overlooked or even misunderstood, as society frequently celebrates strength, decisiveness, and authority in its leaders. However, the true strength of leadership lies in the ability to embrace humility. Humility in leadership doesn't diminish the leader's influence. Rather, it amplifies it. Humble leaders are often the ones who build the strongest relationships, foster the most dynamic teams, and leave a lasting positive impact on their organizations. Humility involves an openness to learning, to acknowledging one's own limitations, and to recognizing that leadership does not exist in isolation. Humble leaders do not presume to have all the answers. Instead, they understand that wisdom is built through collaboration, through listening to others, and through actively engaging with different perspectives. Humility in leadership allows for growth because it creates an environment where no one's ideas are dismissed out of hand. The leader sees themselves as a part of a larger team, not as the sole architect of success. They inspire those around them by acknowledging the contributions of others, showing gratitude for their efforts, and recognizing that everyone plays a vital role in achieving success. One of the most powerful elements of humility in leadership is the ability to recognize when you don't know something or when you are wrong. A humble leader has the courage to admit their mistakes and learn from them. Instead of pretending to have all the answers or concealing their errors, they face their shortcomings head-on. This not only fosters trust, but it also creates a culture where mistakes are seen as opportunities for learning rather than failures to be feared. Humble leaders set the example for how mistakes should be handled. with transparency, accountability, and an openness to growth. Leaders who admit when they do not know something or have made a wrong decision show their team that it is okay to not have everything figured out. This normalizes vulnerability, encouraging others to seek solutions and innovate without the fear of being judged or criticized. This humility is not about false modesty or pretending to be something that you are not. It's about acknowledging that everyone has strengths and weaknesses, and that you, as a leader, can grow through the contributions and insights of others. Humble leaders are aware of their own limitations, which allows them to delegate effectively. When a leader can trust their team members to take charge of areas in which they have more expertise or experience, it empowers others and makes the entire team more effective. By embracing their limitations, humble leaders avoid the trap of micromanagement. Instead, they facilitate autonomy and ownership, which not only leads to a more engaged team, but also strengthens the trust that team members have in their leader. At its core, humility is about recognizing that leadership is not about elevating oneself, but about lifting others up. Humble leaders prioritize the growth and development of their people. They do not seek to take credit for successes, but instead they direct that credit to the team, recognizing the contributions of each individual. Humility involves putting others' needs before your own, not because you are subservient, but because you understand that your success is intertwined with the success of those around you. A humble leader celebrates team victories, acknowledges the strength of their team members, and takes genuine pleasure in seeing others succeed. There are many cases where humility becomes imperative when leading people toward success. Humility also means understanding the limits of your own perspective and actively seeking feedback. A humble leader seeks input from others because they understand that leadership is about dialogue, not dictating the way forward. They welcome differing opinions, even those that challenge their assumptions. This openness to feedback leads to continuous improvement, not only for the leader, but also for the organization as a whole. Humble leaders create space for others to voice their thoughts, which fosters a culture of transparency and collaboration. People are more likely to speak up when they feel that their voices will be heard and valued. This feedback loop not only strengthens relationships, but also creates a more informed and adaptable leadership style. The humility of a leader extends to how they view power. Humble leaders view power not as something to be wielded for personal gain, but as a responsibility that should be used to serve others. Leadership is not about holding onto power, but about sharing it. Humility fosters a leadership style that lifts others up, creating a ripple effect of generosity, trust, and empowerment. The generosity and demonstration of personal growth and empowerment. By sharing power, a humble leader ensures that the decision-making process is collaborative, not autocratic, and that those within the organization feel like equal contributors to the mission. There's also an inherent courage in humility. It takes courage to relinquish the spotlight, to acknowledge mistakes, and to trust others to take the lead when necessary. A leader who is not afraid to show humility sets a tone of authenticity within the team. Their actions signal that leadership does not require ego or pride, but rather a willingness to lead by example, to support others, and to help the team thrive. Humility means leading without the need for validation, simply doing what's best for the team and the organization, regardless of who receives the credit. Humble leadership fosters deeper connections and encourages sustainable success. When humility is at the center of leadership, teams are more likely to collaborate effectively, innovate freely, and remain loyal to the leader and the mission. Humility breaks down barriers and creates an inclusive atmosphere where everyone feels empowered to contribute to the success of the group. By embracing humility, leaders build the trust and respect necessary to create lasting, impactful relationships. The essence of effective leadership is the ability to inspire a shared vision. This isn't simply about having a goal or direction. It is about painting a picture of what could be and inviting others to see and work towards that vision with you. A strong leader helps others see the bigger picture, beyond just tasks or deliverables. They ignite the belief that what they are striving for is possible, worth pursuing, and capable of bringing about positive change. So, a shared vision energizes teams, providing them with a sense of purpose, direction, and motivation, even in the face of obstacles or setbacks. This vision becomes a powerful driving force that transcends day-to-day challenges and unites individuals toward a common purpose. For a leader to inspire such a vision, they must first be deeply connected to it. Leaders can't effectively inspire others if they are not fully passionate about the vision themselves. Their own belief in the possibility of success serves as the initial spark for others to get on board. It's their enthusiasm, commitment, and unwavering confidence that sets the tone for the entire team. If a leader is genuinely committed to a vision, it shows in their actions, communication, and energy. This commitment is contagious. The way they carry themselves and convey the future they are striving for draws others in, creating a collective sense of belonging to something meaningful. But inspiring a shared vision requires more than just showing passion or enthusiasm. It's about clarity and direction. A good leader can clearly articulate where the organization or team is headed and how they are going to get there. They don't leave room for confusion or ambiguity. Their communication around the vision must be consistent and clear, repeatedly painting the same picture to reinforce the path forward. People need to feel as if they understand both the what and the why behind the journey. Leaders who effectively communicate their vision break it down into achievable steps, ensuring that everyone has a clear understanding of how they contribute to the larger goal. This alignment builds confidence because everyone knows where they fit in and how their efforts make a difference. One critical aspect of a shared vision is that it must resonate on an emotional level. A vision that simply focuses on financial targets or outputs may seem practical, but it won't move people in the same way. Leaders must find a way to link the vision to something deeper, something that speaks to the values and passions of their team. When the vision touches an emotional chord, people are motivated to give more than what is asked of them. They invest not just their time and skills, but also their energy and heart. This emotional connection allows them to overcome the toughest of obstacles because they know they are working for something that matters, something meaningful. However, the power of a shared vision goes beyond simply motivating individual team members. It's a force that binds a group together, transforming a collection of people into a cohesive, united force. In teams where the vision is embraced by all, collaboration flourishes because each person understands their role in a larger story. A shared vision helps break down silos and encourages teams to work together, share knowledge, and solve problems collectively. The clarity provided by a well-communicated vision helps to prevent misunderstandings and friction, as everyone is aligned on the ultimate goal. For a vision to become shared, it is crucial for the leader to listen and integrate feedback. Leaders who dictate a vision from above without consulting their teams risk creating distance between themselves and their people. To truly inspire, a leader must ensure that the vision is co-created, allowing for contributions and perspectives from others. This does not mean relinquishing control, but embracing collaboration. When people feel that they have a stake in the vision, they are more invested in bringing it to life. This co-ownership fosters a sense of pride and accountability, driving higher levels of commitment and engagement. Leaders who succeed in inspiring a shared vision understand that it's not enough to merely communicate a vision. They must also model it. Their actions and behaviors must be aligned with the vision they set forth. Leaders who inspire a vision are those whose decisions reflect the values and aspirations they are promoting. If a leader speaks of integrity, collaboration, and growth, their actions should consistently demonstrate those values. The vision. Leadership is as much about embodying the vision as it is about articulating it. When team members see that their leader truly practices what they preach, it enhances the vision's credibility and reinforces the trust that underpins it. Another aspect of inspiring a shared vision is the ability to sustain momentum. Visionary leadership is not a one-off event. It is an ongoing process. To maintain enthusiasm and forward motion, leaders need to celebrate milestones and progress along the way. Recognizing accomplishments, whether big or small, validates the journey and reinforces that progress is being made. This continuous reinforcement is necessary to avoid burnout, especially in longer-term initiatives where the path to achieving the vision may be long and winding. Regular feedback, recognition, and the celebration of key wins help ensure that everyone stays energized and focused on the shared goal. When a leader successfully inspires a shared vision, they create a team culture of collective ambition. Instead of each person focusing on their individual tasks or goals, everyone is aligned on a bigger purpose. The team moves forward together with unity and drive. In the face of challenges, this shared vision becomes the foundation upon which they can build resilience. The clarity of the vision empowers individuals to make decisions that support the greater goal, to innovate, and to tackle setbacks with determination and focus. It transforms what could be just another job or project into a passion, a commitment, and a cause that everyone works toward together. The leader's role is not to direct every move, but to consistently guide, inspire, and remind everyone of why the vision matters, to keep the flame alive. Empathy is a cornerstone of effective leadership. It is the ability to connect with others, understand their feelings, and share in their experiences. Leaders who possess empathy are able to build stronger, more cohesive teams, foster loyalty, and create an environment where people feel valued, heard, and understood. The capacity for empathy transforms leadership from the transactional into something profoundly relational. A leader who leads with empathy can navigate complex human dynamics, manage diverse teams, and motivate people to reach higher levels of performance because they genuinely care about the individuals they are leading. At its core, empathy is about perspective taking, the ability to put oneself in another's shoes and see the world through their eyes. It is not merely about understanding someone's emotions, but also about grasping the reasons behind those emotions. A leader who shows empathy is not just reactive to what is happening with their team members, but actively seeks to understand the motivations, frustrations, and fears that may be driving their actions. By doing so, they gain deeper insights into their team's needs and aspirations, which allows them to respond more effectively and with greater sensitivity. In today's world where work environments are increasingly diverse and people's personal challenges often bleed into their professional lives, this skill is invaluable. Burnout occurs because we're not paying attention to the sensory stuff. We're not listening to our body's cues. We're not letting go of distractions and interruptions. Empathy in leadership also enables leaders to communicate with greater emotional intelligence. When leaders understand how others are feeling, they can choose the right approach to communication, ensuring their message resonates and is received in the most constructive way possible. This skill is especially important during difficult conversations, such as delivering critical feedback, managing conflict, or addressing performance issues. An empathetic leader can deliver messages that are not only clear and respectful, but also compassionate, ensuring that the individual receiving the feedback feels understood rather than defensive. Empathy allows leaders to recognize that every person has unique reactions and vulnerabilities, which influences how they perceive and respond to challenges. One of the most powerful aspects of empathetic leadership is its capacity to inspire loyalty. When people feel understood and supported by their leaders, they are more likely to remain engaged and committed to the team. Empathetic leaders foster an environment of psychological safety, where people feel comfortable taking risks, expressing ideas, and pushing boundaries without fear of judgment or retribution. A team that trusts its leader will perform at a higher level, not just because they respect the leader's authority, but because they feel genuinely cared for. The emotional connection formed by empathy drives people to go above and beyond because they want to see their leader succeed, and they feel personally invested in that success. A leader who practices empathy also helps foster a growth-oriented, supportive culture. In environments where leaders display empathy, team members are more likely to approach challenges with a solutions-oriented mindset rather than a fear-based one. People are willing to make mistakes and learn from them when they know that their leader's response will be understanding and constructive rather than critical or punitive. This approach nurtures a growth mindset where continuous learning, feedback, and improvement become part of the culture. Empathy, in this case, becomes a critical element in turning setbacks into opportunities and guiding individuals toward realizing their full potential. The impact of empathy in leadership extends beyond individual relationships to the culture of an organization. An empathetic leader sets a tone that cascades throughout the team, encouraging others to adopt empathetic behavior in their own interactions. As empathy spreads throughout the team, it fosters a more collaborative, supportive, and inclusive atmosphere. This kind of culture promotes innovation as people feel free to share new ideas without fear of ridicule, and it also helps to resolve conflicts constructively as team members are more likely to approach disagreements with understanding and respect. A leadership style grounded in empathy is essential for promoting inclusivity, as it actively seeks to value and understand diverse perspectives, making everyone feel respected, regardless of their background, identity, or role. In times of crisis or uncertainty, the importance of empathy cannot be overstated. The events of the past few years have shown us how leadership must evolve to accommodate the emotional needs of teams during times of disruption. Empathetic leaders are more adept at recognizing the signs of burnout, anxiety, and stress, and are in a better position to offer support. During uncertain times, when individuals may feel overwhelmed or disconnected from the organization's goals, an empathetic leader provides stability, reassurance, and guidance. By understanding the human element of these challenging moments, empathetic leaders help their teams navigate change and uncertainty with resilience. Empathy is not a passive trait. It requires ongoing effort and a deep, active investment in the well-being of others. Effective leaders continuously cultivate this quality by prioritizing the needs of their teams, seeking to understand their perspectives, and offering unwavering support during both good and challenging times. Empathy elevates leadership because it encourages people to bring their best selves to work, knowing they are part of an organization that values their humanity and cares for their success. So the real key to effective leadership is not found in the traditional metrics of success, profits, status, or acclaim. It's found in how we serve others. It's about being a servant before being a leader, giving people what they need in order to flourish and helping them reach their highest potential. Leadership is about creating the conditions for others to succeed, lifting them up when times are tough, and celebrating their victories with them. Leadership is not about you, it's about them, the people you lead. It's the ability to inspire them to believe in something larger than themselves, and to stand behind something they know will bring positive change. And when they are aligned with that purpose, when they feel that they matter, and that they are an integral part of the team, you can accomplish things together that once seemed impossible. The key to effective leadership is not being the loudest in the room or having all the answers. It's about serving others, leading with purpose, and fostering trust. When we focus on why we do what we do, when we put people's needs at the center, when we lead with vulnerability and humility, we can ignite incredible change, not just in our teams, but in the world around us. Thank you.